everyone to start out with her big announcements, and then we'll do minutes because this is, I think, exciting.
Yeah, so if anyone saw City Council last night, the current museum site, the church, has a buyer, and City Council, thank you, Marilyn and the rest of our counselors for accepting the offer. It came out to, it was an all cash, or it was, I believe, a cash offer for of asking price for $350,000, which is absolutely wonderful. Yeah, Marilyn, is there anything you, from City Council perspective, you would like to add to that?
Other than the fact that there was absolutely no conflict at all in accepting this offer. We have been down the road in times past of taking a contract of sale back on things. And several times ago, the council vowed to never, ever, ever, ever do that again. And so we were very pleased to hear that it was a cash offer. And we know that the cash was contingent upon the buyers selling some properties in Malala, and those have been sold. So we're ready to go, and possession on August 1st. Or
Hooray.
August 1st.
Wow. I was wondering, Unfettered Rentals, the buyer, are they going to make it into apartments, or do you know?
What I know from last night, that it was not an executive session. The city manager did announce that it was Julie, I believe it's Julie Fetters is her name.
Rebecca, I think.
And this is going to be remodeled for residential, and downstairs may be something like a mother-in-law apartment.
Oh, okay. Okay. And I heard him say the name, and so I knew I wouldn't have known it if it came from executive session.
Right. And I looked it up the other day, and there's no, other than a city or a state of Oregon registration for the business name, this is at least a newly named venture. They may have named it just for this piece of property.
Oh, okay. Because I looked it up last night too, and I didn't know when it said Unfettered Rentals. That's why I wasn't sure. Ironically, out of the blue, I got a call from the realtor that sold us our house, and I haven't talked to her in years. And she said she had a client that might be interested in buying the museum. Did I know if it was for sale? And I said, well, as a matter of fact, it sold last night. So that was kind of ironic. But I'm really glad that went through, and it was an interesting building while we were there, but on to bigger and better and flatter. So I think we are on to minutes. And do we have minutes from the March meeting? I see them listed here. I don't remember seeing them. We can't vote anyway until we have a full quorum. So I guess we'll just move on and put a hold on that.
I have, I took minutes, but if we can't do anything with them, then let's save them.
Okay.
Yeah, they're included in the packet, but.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I missed the packet part.
That's okay.
I was going right to the print thing, and I apologize. I totally missed.
I missed them as well, so don't worry. I'm sitting here blind without minutes.
I'm sorry, what?
I'm sitting here without an agenda too, so don't feel bad, Vicki.
Oh, okay. I did get that printed last minute, but then I forgot to print the full packet because I was so excited about contacting Carly about announcing the sale.
Yeah.
Somehow I think I'm more excited than anybody else, but maybe it's because I've fallen down those stairs.
Yes, you have good reason. We're all to be excited.
Yeah.
It's big news.
So on to, we have no visitors or public comments. So unfinished business, museum construction update. It's exciting to see people coming and going.
Yeah, we had a construction update meeting today, and we're pretty much in the same spot. Construction's moving along as it's supposed to. We looked at some paint samples. We actually finalized paint samples, which will be a nice little like cream white wall with a
Nice.
slightly warmer black ceiling in there. So very exciting paint options, but I think they're going to be perfect for what we're going to do. It's going to make a really nice canvas. But yeah, other than that, everything's going well on that.
This is kind of off, but hopefully on track with that. My sister was visiting a couple weeks ago, and we went up to I just spaced the place that has the big Oktoberfest around Silverton.
Mount
Pardon me?
Angel?
Yeah, and they have Mount Angel, Silverton. They have a ton of murals, and they actually have a mural society. And I didn't know, because I know you were talking about murals, if we would want to contact them for information, or just a thought.
We might have overlapped because I was also in Mount Angel on Sunday this weekend.
Funny.
And I did not realize until this weekend that they had like a mural tour. Like you can go and actually get a brochure.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that either.
Yeah. Like, so you can drive around and do that. And I think, I mean, I think ultimately we're going to end up with a mural on the museum. But it'll be interesting to see if the city kind of expands the murals beyond what we have there. Cause I think that would be a wonderful idea. And I think anything we can do to get people that are visiting or community members to just be spending more time in downtown and
right.
a longer period of time is going to be beneficial for everybody.
Yeah. Because my sister and I, we didn't know there was a brochure, but we were just like cruising around and checking them out. And then we were in one vintage shop that had just reopened after COVID and remodeled it. And she was telling us about that they actually have a mural society there. And I imagine they upkeep them. They must have been the ones that published the brochure. And so I thought that was kind of exciting and fun and tied in with what
Carly,
we did.
Yeah.
You need to, might put it on your list to talk to the city manager of Monmouth, Marty Wine.
Mm.
I attended Greeters this morning, and she and Suzanne Duffner were there giving an update on all the things that are happening in Monmouth. And one of the things they're going to be doing is putting a mural on the side of the Roths building.
Oh, cool.
So we might be able to, there's a possibility for, if we like that artist, to get a reduced price for doing 2 instead of 1.
Yeah.
And there's also, I'm trying to think of his name. I've got a piece of his artwork here. The guy that did the artwork on several buildings in Dallas, and also recently won the contract for a wine label.
Oh.
On the side of the Willamette Valley Fiber building in Dallas, he did a community paint by number, which was really fun and really brought some interest directly to the building.
So funny fact, I guess. Amy and I have actually been helping the city of Monmouth with stuff for that mural. I sent over a few months ago a bunch of images that we had from our collection of the train, because it's looking like they're trying to have it be about the Monmouth Independence Railroad. And Amy actually dug into some research on how the train was constructed and who were the laborers. So we've definitely been a part of that process. And Sean actually sent me the link to the paint by number community mural guy. So I really appreciate the alignment that's going on here.
That's exciting when things are coming together that way. So if the owners are going to take possession August 1st, do we have a schedule?
Not necessarily possession, closing August.
Oh, closing. Oh, okay. Okay. I was feeling panicked for everybody.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. Amy and I have had many dreams about this that kept us up a little bit late at night.
Oh, I can only imagine.
Mhm.
But I
Um,
did have a conversation with the director of the Benton County Museum today, and just because they moved into their second site in Corvallis, and I just kind of wanted to pick her brain on what the process looked like for them. So I talked to her, and Amy and I are going to be chatting sometime in the next week, kind of hammering down some of the specifics of how the process is going to look.
Oh, good. That's exciting. They have made their move.
Yes, they made their, it's a whole thing. They started their move in like January of 2020 and then had to pause in March and
Right.
then weren't able to do anything until July. But now they're completely in there and they're doing visitors and everything. But I just wanted her perspective on what the process was like for them, like what things they worked with a moving company for and what things they used volunteers or
Right.
staff for. And Amy and I'll kind of chat and figure out what our strategy is going to be for that, because we will be tapping on volunteers to help with the move for that. And
Right.
a big part of why that's possible is all of the work that Amy has done with the boxes and making sure that everything's organized correctly, because that's going to be, it's a whole different process to like assign people to move boxes versus piles of things.
Oh, no kidding. Yeah. And hopefully we will be open enough by then that we can be participating. And so that sounds great. Thank you for all that work ongoing, Amy. You've been our unsung hero here because nobody's been able to be in to see all the work that you're doing
Thank
with
you.
all your boxes.
That's okay, because moving is a messy process, and you get to that phase. I'm sure everyone's moved, and you get to that point when you've got like a kitchen knife and a dress and a box of cereal, and you're going, what do I do?
Yeah, exactly.
Kind of feel like I'm in that phase, but we're
Yeah.
moving along.
Yeah, what a good description. Let's see. Historic District Interpretive Panels.
I have that in here just because it was new business, our last meeting. I
Okay.
don't have any updates. I was
Okay.
hoping there might be an update, but I don't have any updates for that. We're still waiting to hear back on if we got the grant funding for it.
Okay. Museum videos.
Amy and I have been working on that. We've selected 3 specific kind of themes. We've got hops and agriculture, the Kalapuya and their removal, and the pioneer kind of resettlement story. So we've been working on that. We've got a lot of information together, and now we're kind of in the storyboarding process where we just pick a lot of pictures and then figure out how it's going to work. Yeah, I think this is going to be fun. Amy and I are learning a lot.
I bet. Oh, that sounds
Do you have anything
exciting.
else to add, Amy?
Sorry, I'm muting while I do minutes. No, I think, yeah, we're each video is going to be about 4 minutes long. They're meant to be educational and entertaining, so they can be on our website and potentially used in museum if necessary, or if that serves purposes. And these are just the first 3 to get the ball rolling, to kind of give the community and visitors and outsiders a view of what we cover here, and then we'll expand and add more videos going forward. So
Cool. And under new business, we have Polk County Cultural Coalition grant.
Yeah, so not quite as exciting as the other things that we've talked about, but we got a grant for $2,500 to buy us new folding chairs for the new
Oh,
site.
cool.
So we will no longer have to use the probably historic wooden folding chairs, we can use actual safe metal ones. Not that the wooden ones were really unsafe, but they did not serve what we needed
Yeah,
them
they
to do.
they didn't seem to have the stability, especially outdoors.
Exactly. And folding chairs are one of those things that you would not think would be that expensive, but they are. They are
Yeah.
very expensive. And if we're going to do events and speakers at the new site, we need someplace for people to sit.
It's the shit, yeah.
And so we've got that. So those should be purchased sometime in the next couple of months.
Great. Managers report, here we are.
I don't really have anything else. Everything else I've included in this has been that up to this point. I guess the only other thing I can add is that Amy and I are both working with the Monmouth Independence History Project, which is kind of a joint community group that's working to show a more whole history of our community, and to also kind of give context to national events that happen to kind of show how those connect down to the communities of Monmouth and Independence. And we've recently kind of found a direction that we're going to go. They're working with I don't know if it's Oregon Public Broadcasting or NPR. They're kind of pretty much the same, but they're working with them to get the rights to a documentary looking at agricultural workers in Monmouth and Independence.
Cool.
That was filmed about 20 years ago. And they're getting the rights to that, and they're going to show it on WIMPEG over in Monmouth. And it's going to show, I guess, a couple of times over the course of a month. And then we're in the process of kind of putting together our own kind of follow-up documentary, which is going to be a series of interviews with current agricultural workers and community members to kind of show how things have changed over time. I was not at the last meeting, and Amy was, so correct me if anything I said was incorrect.
No, that's where we left off with our last meeting. They got permission to show the documentary. So we're currently in discussions with local community members and their family members who were a part of the original documentary, so that we can put together a panel of people to interview. And I think that's where we're at now.
Great. And that's the Monmouth Independence
History Project.
Okay. I knew I had a missing word.
We've also been putting together a pretty extensive timeline of events from the local community that are to do with kind of reflecting that fairness and equality and telling everyone's story. And we're working on different ways for how to get that out, to how to share it on the museum website or the library's website, or we're in those discussions right now. But a lot of information has been pulled together by Kyle Jansen, putting that timeline together.
Great.
And that's all I have for the manager report.
Okay. Curators report. Thank you, Carly.
I don't have much either. Same as last time, just working behind the scenes with packing and working on digitizing our paper ledger before it falls apart, and kind of splitting my time between packing and digitizing, and getting to the non-accessioned areas of the museum. So that's pretty much all I have.
Thank you. Society update.
I'm going to have Amy give that update as well.
Yeah, the society just met on Sunday, and they were able to vote on moving funds out of the community foundation over into their regular banking account so that they can contribute to the city for the move. So they voted to contribute $20,000 from their society fund to the city. So that would be really good.
Hooray, that's exciting.
Right now, their next project they're working on is coming up with a way to do some fundraising when we do our move and our grand opening, and those discussions are early and just starting. They're going to start talking more about that going forward.
Okay. Sounds great. And do they have, do they also have missing people in their board, or do they have a full board now?
They had a quorum on Sunday, but they are missing several members and will be they voted to replace their secretary Sunday, and they'll be recruiting for new members. 'Cause
Okay.
they have been missing 2 since our last meetings in person.
Okay.
So if anyone knows anyone, that would be a
Yeah.
good addition.
I did
Oh.
have, oh,
Well, I know I was going to go back to I apologize. There was one last thing I guess I should have added to the museum manager's report that I feel like might be what you were thinking of adding.
go ahead. I'm not sure.
So Anita Cantu actually called me last week, and she has resigned from the advisory board. She just stated that she's really loved her time working with us, and that she still wants to be an active part of the museum and to help us with a lot of the stuff that we've been working on. She just doesn't feel like she currently has the time to that she would like to have to be able to share with the museum in the capacity of being on the advisory board. So she will be missed, and we're really grateful for all of the stuff that she's helped the museum with and everything she's been a part of during her time on the advisory board. So a huge thank you to Anita. And also that means we have another board position that we can fill. So if anyone has any ideas or suggestions, we would love to hear that. And we're very excited about a potential new member.
Yeah, it's been wonderful to have Anita because of her longtime perspective of the community, and then also her perspective from Latinx community as well. So that will be missed. Maybe between now and sometime when we hopefully can start meeting in person, we can get a card and send it to her, and I'll be in charge of that committee.
Sounds great.
I did have what I was wondering about, and it happened to be because I was reading through the packet of information for the, and I probably have the Historic Preservation Commission. Do I have that name right for the city? And there is a building on Walnut that is going to be taken apart. And I can see why. It's pretty sad shape, but it said that one of the contingencies of their being able to dismantle it was that they're going to be working with the museum to preserve the history of it and pictures. Are you aware of that yet, or is
I was aware of the demo or that it was going to be taken down. I was not aware of the rest of it, but it's not. I've been on personal vacation for the last week, so it's not surprising if I haven't spoken with anyone about it. But I'll definitely reach out and figure that out. I didn't do any more digging into it beyond just driving by, but I can definitely do that.
Okay, and they said they were talking about photographing it, and there were quite a few pictures, but there were some that looked like maybe some kind of cool looking old windows or something in it that might be of, and then the history of the family seemed interesting. You know, there was a paragraph about how, I mean, they were here a long time ago. I mean, obviously since a building was constructed in the late 1800s. So
it's really sad to see because we have so many properties in the historic district that we don't have any information on, that even when you go through the binders from when they designated it a historic district, the interviews that they did would come up and say we know this is a historic structure, but we have no information on it. So it's always sad to see a building that does have information that goes with it.
Yeah, that was, I thought, particularly sad since there were those snippets of information. I am going to be watching, I think it's maybe May or June, it's a little while yet, but a genealogy webinar, and it's on doing the genealogy of buildings and houses. So I think that'll be fun to learn more about how to research occupants of houses.
Awesome. That is very important information and a resource that I know Amy and I will both probably be tapping into you for.
Okay, great. Yeah, because when I saw that on the list, when they were listing some of the new things to view, I thought that would be a really exciting one and would connect with what we're doing here.
That is one of the biggest things that I get emailed about, is about information on homes. And it always hurts my heart a little bit when I have to say that I have some information, but I don't have anything more.
Yeah.
So that would be really wonderful.
Yeah, I'm really excited to learn more ways to find out information about how to trace the history of them. So does anyone else have anything for the good of the order to add?
I have a question for John. Last meeting we had, Jasper asked you a question about, I think, historic trees and whatnot. With the Historic Preservation Commission, has there been any updates on that or anything? Because I know that there were some that might need to come down that could be considered historic. Well, I'll shoot you an email about it.
Yeah, that would be interesting to know about the trees. Well, if there is nothing else, it's good to see everybody that's here. And John's name, we'll catch his wonderful face next time maybe. And I guess at 5:58, we are adjourned.
And I would like to reiterate the offer to help in any way that I can with fundraising for the museum.
Okay,
Great.
we'll pass that on.
Thank you.